Okay, looking at simple psychology principles, the kind that offer genuinely practical tricks for everyday life. And the source material reminds us, basically, psychology is the study of the mind, right? How we think, feel, and maybe most importantly for this, how we behave. So our goal today is to pull out a few of the most useful, um, surprisingly powerful tricks, things based on how people actually tick, stuff you can actually use like right away to maybe improve communication, build connections, just make daily interactions a bit smoother. It's all about understanding those subtle cues.
Yeah, and what's great is these aren't, complex academic theories. Not really. They're often just small tweaks in your own behavior that, well, they tap into pretty predictable human responses. Simple, but they work because they line up with how we're sort of wired.
Absolutely. Okay, so the first one we look at, it's a classic, but really powerful when you get why it works. Mirroring.
Right. Mirroring. This is basically just slightly
Mhm.
and often unconsciously copying some of the other person's body language, maybe how they're sitting, a hand gesture they use, or even the pace or tone of their voice. And if you think about the psychology behind it, well, people naturally feel more comfortable, more connected to people who seem similar to them. It's kind of an unconscious, we're alike signal. Builds rapport.
Exactly, that connection. It happens below the surface, doesn't it? So how can you use this? Well, think about maybe meeting someone new or a job interview, perhaps. Even just collaborating in a team meeting, not mimicking them like a parrot, obviously, that would be weird.
Yeah.
It's more a gentle, subtle alignment. It just creates this feeling of, I don't know, ease. Done lightly, it feels really natural.
Subtle is definitely the key word there.
Okay, building on that same idea, making people feel comfortable, feel seen. Here's another incredibly simple but really effective technique. Using a person's name.
Yeah, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But why does hearing your own name actually have such an impact?
Well, it's fundamentally personal. Our name is tied right into our identity. So when someone uses your name, especially in a conversation, it just immediately makes you feel recognized. Like, oh, they're talking to me. Important.
Yeah.
Respected even. It signals they're paying attention specifically to you, not just having a generic interaction.
Yeah, it cuts through everything else, makes the interaction feel more personal, more about them. And you can use this pretty much anywhere, can't you? Customer service, definitely, to personalize things, or just in casual chats to show you're engaged. Even say, when making a request, it adds a layer of respect, that human touch.
It really does.
Yeah.
A small thing with a big impact.
Okay, now, here's one that takes a little bit of self-control, maybe.
Yeah.
But, oh boy, can it be effective. It's about embracing silence, specifically silence after you've asked a question. The technique is just that simple. Ask your question, and then stop talking. You have to resist that urge to jump back in or rephrase it or fill the quiet. Just wait. Right. And the psychology of why that silence works is fascinating, actually. It creates this psychological space. And sometimes, yeah, kind of gentle pressure. Most people feel a need to fill that void, especially after a direct question. So instead of you rushing them, they feel prompted to respond. And often this leads to, well, more thoughtful answers, more detailed, maybe even more honest than if you jumped in. It gives them that moment, that impetus to really think and formulate.
Exactly. Gives their brain a chance to catch up. So think about using this maybe in a serious conversation or an interview where you need more than just the quick surface answer. Anytime you really want an in-depth perspective, basically, it shows you're actually listening, waiting for their real thoughts, not just, ticking a box.
Demonstrates active listening.
So when you look at these things together, mirroring body language subtly, using someone's name, letting silence do some work after a question, they aren't magic spells or anything. They're just tools, really, grounded in understanding how people tend to, interact and respond naturally.
That's the core of it, yeah. The key takeaway here isn't about manipulation, not at all. It's about understanding, empathy, almost. These techniques are, I think, most powerful and certainly best used when you apply them kindly, wisely. They can genuinely help make interactions smoother, build better relationships, just by tapping into those basic principles of human connection and respect.
Yeah, well said. So for you listening, maybe something to consider as you go about your day, how might just paying a little more attention to these simple behavioral ideas change how you approach your next conversation, whether that's, with a colleague, a friend, maybe even a stranger at the coffee shop? What new connection or understanding might you find just by tweaking how you listen or respond a little? Something to think about.